for being late. It's me. It's
I thought it
me.
was me because I've had some tech challenges in the last 24 hours. So I was a
You
little bit
have.
worried that my computer just went, no,
No,
no, you
I'm
can't
like,
go live.
hey, it's me. I'm the problem. It's me. Yeah, it's because I talk too much.
Like I said, I'm in just like my phone is being weird, my computer is being weird, my iPad is the only thing
Well, it's
that's working
about
right.
time because it's only been me who's had problems.
Oh, I don't know if anybody can let me know. Is there anything like, I don't know,
So
universally or something going on that's affecting my
yeah, so
computer
I
and
think
it needs to
I
knock it
don't think
off?
it's retrograde or anything. I think it's Apple is releasing new products soon.
And they're like,
And so they're downloading the this is no good anymore. You need to go and sign up for our new one, which we will.
I
But
know.
mine has been going on for a year, and I've been praying to the computer gods that my Mac will stay alive long enough. Everyone keeps telling me to go buy a new one, but I know they're releasing new ones in the fall,
Yeah, do
and then
not
I'll
buy
be
yet.
really, I'll
No.
be so mad. It's kind of like I'm not going to buy an Apple Watch the day before, or an Apple phone, an iPhone the day before the new ones come out, right? Like I know some people do because it's a great deal.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's lots of sales and stuff like that, but
We want the latest.
yeah, my phone I updated. I did last night I did update to the iOS 7 iOS 18
The
finally.
beta, yeah.
Yeah, finally. I feel like
It
I'm
does.
on
It's kind of cool. It looks a little different. Like everything looks a little different, and some of the functionality is really cool, like
yeah,
photos and everything. And we're not going to get into it because
no.
if you're not into the beta, we don't want to like tell you all this stuff and then you can't have it.
There's a lot of people on TikTok that do that though. They will
Yeah,
literally be like, this is what's coming, which is great. And I follow them and I
it's
like to see what's
great.
coming, but dip my toe
But I
in.
don't
But
like to see things that I can't have. I'm not very good at waiting.
exactly. Yeah,
So we're
that's why
not
I get
going to
very
do that.
mad when my computer's not acting the way it should because I know how it needs to work better. And the problem when your computer has maxed out on storage, which is what happened to me, and then everything's in the cloud, which is no problem, except problem when I can't get it onto my computer to actually use or open something. So I'm very grateful when a client the other day sent us a link to a Google Drive. I can't tell you how happy I was to see that as
I
opposed to
know.
something I had to download. And that's kind of where we're coming to, right? Like we've talked before, like Google Drive, Sheets, all of that stuff. I was able to click open in browser.
Yeah.
And
I do,
that's why,
and we love our Apple, but I have to say Google Drive is pretty amazing.
yeah,
Just so you guys know, though, I mean, we're both similar. I think I have 4 terabytes in iCloud, and I have another 2 terabytes of storage in Google Drive.
it's
And
insane.
we still max out on them because we have a lot of stuff.
A lot of stuff.
So, but Google Drive, for those of you who haven't used it, is pretty awesome
Yeah.
because I love the fact that you can just work away and don't download it and don't close it and don't do anything. It's just always there.
Now, are you, no, I'm going to show my age here, but um, I was working in Sheets yesterday. I was just doing something really quick because I was just trying to track something. And for like the lack of brain power or something, I looked for the save button.
Thank God, because you're not very good at publish or save.
And it was just so funny. And I'm like, I close it and I'm like, but I didn't save it. And then I open it again just to make sure. And I'm like, okay, now I'm getting old if I'm looking for the
Yeah.
save button. So
Do
that
you?
is one thing I do love.
A lot of programs still have to hit the save button. I know we
Yeah.
do it on our website, on our
Yes.
software
And
provider. We always save
publish.
because we don't trust them. Do you
Yeah.
remember the worst for me was always the days of corporate and Excel because that was the part that you would cry because Excel wouldn't save unless you saved it. And if your computer crashed or did those weird Windows updates, you lost something that you're working on for an entire day.
Yeah.
Same thing with PowerPoint, anything at the time. I remember crying a couple of times because
Yeah.
I'd worked on something for an entire day and lost it.
Yeah.
So the auto save now in, I believe, in Office and
Yeah.
Excel there's an auto save. It's not immediate. I think it's every couple of minutes or something. I
It
don't really
depends on
know.
your settings. You can set it different ways, but yeah, that's been a saving grace.
Yeah.
But
So if you
actually,
just stick to Google and you guys are good, right?
well, it's funny because I was literally looking at my storage and I was looking at the applications because I'm trying to get rid of stuff so that I can
Yeah.
make more space. And one of them was Excel. And I started thinking
Yeah.
about that. And I started thinking, well, wait a minute, do I really need this? Because I now do everything in Google. So I really don't need Excel or
No.
Word
No.
because I know that it's saved in my Google Drive. So
Yeah.
it's an interesting transition,
Yeah.
doing things differently.
It's tough. It's tough. So guys, that's your public service announcement for today.
tech,
Um,
tech tips of the day.
there's a lot of exciting things coming down the pipe for a lot of different things. And when we talked about Apple, Apple, the new iOS 18, but importantly, the AI, Apple's artificial intelligence that's included in everything. You
Yeah.
must have an iPhone 15 to be able to
Yes.
utilize it.
Yeah.
So that's really interesting. And we both kind of skipped. We didn't take the 15 because we had the prior.
Yeah.
I don't know what I have, 13,
Yeah.
14,
I
no.
have a 13. Yeah.
Anyway, so we waited because we knew there's no point. So good to wait
Yeah.
because now when they launch 16 in September, we'll just go get those. But if you have a 15, you're good.
Yeah.
If you're not interested in AI, then it's not a big deal.
It's no
But for
big deal.
those of
Yeah.
us that you know use it all the time, I can't wait. I'm very excited, and I know it's late fall, and I can't. I won't be able to use it unless I update my phone. So, phone and MacBook Pro, both at the same time. Lots of money going out. That's okay.
Let's
So,
talk
how do
about
we
how
combat?
people get money in.
Yeah, so how do we combat that out? So what we have to do is we need to launch. We need to
Yep.
launch new products and new services in order to pay for new toys. And for those of you who are part of our community, you know that we like to say, you can buy anything as long as it's a game. So if we say we want a new MacBook Pro and an iPhone, which is going to be, I don't know, $6,000 or something, probably roughly the two of them, probably.
Sure.
We need to bring in $6,000. That's
Yep.
how we play the game. We can't say we need it for an investment for our business. No, no, no. We don't really need it. We could live without it. You could duct tape our computer.
Need
We
and
want.
want, there's a fine line there.
So I want to talk a little bit today about launching. And I think what the biggest problem is for most people's businesses is everyone has great ideas,
Yes.
services, products, everything. Is just that they never launch, or they kind of go that old, when you do a gift with purchase and you go, shh, come here, I got a gift with purchase for you. Like that's what most people launch with, and it doesn't work.
Or they get to the point, I think I can't remember who we were talking about recently about this. Maybe it was one in the coaching calls, and we were saying like we kind of put so much effort in the back end, right? You kind of
Yeah.
prepare, you do all of this stuff. We talk, we work with people, we get everything ready. We've been working on it. Like I remember the client we were talking to, like they have been working on it for months to get it ready for launch. And then, but does it kind of sizzle out?
Yeah.
Right? To the point where it's like, well, I know it has existed for so long that my excitement for it maybe has gone down a little bit.
Yeah.
And now it's time to bring up all of the excitement to
Yeah.
put it out there and launch it. So I think
Yeah.
that kind of comes into play
It's
as well.
and I think and there's a couple of reasons why. One is people are afraid of self promotion, right?
Right?
And we got a course for you for that. It's free. We're going to show you where to go for that. But they're afraid of self promotion. They're not really sure if it's the right fit. Like they might have had a great idea and they're like, oh, I don't know if it fits with my brand. We have a course for that too. And then they don't know what to do. And we have a course
Right.
for that too, because we say, here's how you make short, compelling videos. Stacy did an amazing training for that. And those are all free. And we're just handing them to you guys.
Yeah.
So you can go to our hub and grab those at any time. But I think before we even talk about launch, I think it's really important that you sit down and say, why am I not launching?
Right.
Right? Why did I write this ebook or this course or recorded this video, or I did all these videos for social media and I haven't launched. So if you can understand if it's like a fear of self-promotion or whatever it is, then you can learn the strategies to get over it and actually launch. So I grew up obviously in internet marketing when the web first started. So I'm about 1,000. And so I tried everything because I didn't know what I was doing. So I tried everything. And, some things worked, some things didn't. I never really had a formula, didn't really understand. I just learned. I was a sponge. And then I started watching Jeff Walker's product launch formula and learned how to do a proper launch. And he's kind of the godfather or the guru of launches.
Yes.
And we're going to give you, he's going to, once a year, he comes out with this masterclass that you can learn how to do launches. And then he has this coaching program, his program, which is phenomenal. And I took it as soon as it was, back then it was expensive to me, but now it's affordable for everybody. So I took it and I did my first launch with it, and I did like 250,000 in 14 days. So it works. And do we use it continually? Sure, we use it all the time. And so what's important, and the reason I'm kind of telling you guys this, is it's going to happen again in August. And we've got a link for you guys. I'm still going to talk, but I want to get this out of my system. We're going to Stacy is going to give you a link that you can join our wait list for that masterclass. Because here's the thing. Here's what most people do wrong. They watch the masterclass, or they'll watch anybody's masterclass, and they don't implement, or they don't understand, or they have questions. They don't know what to do. So what we're going to do is sign up for the wait list here. We're going to tell you when it's out, and then we're going to put you on our list. And then I believe he's launching the classes over a couple days. And every day we're going to do a live to take all your questions and answers and walk you through what it is so that you can actually launch. Whether you go fully and join his courses or you just do the masterclass with us, and it's all free, so you guys can learn. But I think what's important is people think you can you have your thing and you push up, publish, and you're done. That's just the start.
It's like when they post on social media, it's like, but I told everybody, but I did a post. Is that not enough?
So launching is a process, and launching, you have to understand the steps. So what's the pre-launch? Are you going to have affiliates or not? If it's just you as a solopreneur, cool. Well, what are you going to launch? How you're going to do it? What are the posts involved? How is the cart going to happen? How are the emails going to get processed? We developed our own launch formula based on PLF. And so we teach that, obviously, the integration to all of our clients and all of our members in the community. And it's important that you understand that you need that checklist. You need that checklist to say, I did this and I did this and I did this. As much as you think it's in your head, it's not. And then you wonder, as Stacy said, why nobody bought after you posted once.
And people need to see things over and over. You need to lead them through a path. They need to see this part, and then they also need to see things differently, right? So it's not just a one and done. It's not it's positioning, it's promotion, and it's all the different marketing efforts coming together for that launch.
Yeah, it's really important. And I think, there's so many different ways to launch, and there's like pieces that you can do, like a seed launch, which is your first piece, which can happen months before. You don't even have to have a finished program and you can launch.
Yep.
Right. So there's that option. I'm going to give access to the people that are coming with us to my masterclass, where I taught everyone how I did that first launch using local meetings. So people think that it just you just have to do it online and they get scared, but you can do launches a number of different ways, and you just need to understand the differences and go, that one's right for me, right? Or that one's right for me. And then go ahead and work the checklist that you're going to get to make sure you do it. But I can't say enough. I mean, to come to a free training so that you will at least learn. I did a ton of free trainings when I started, a
Yeah.
ton. Anyone that had one, I signed up. I watched everything and I would get little tiny tidbits from everyone to make sure that I was started learning and being able to move forward with it. So it's really, really important. And it's really important because once you learn, part of it is launching on social media, right? And Stacy's got you covered on that. She's got a lot of different trainings that you can access. But it's changed, right, Stacy, over the
Yep.
years?
It has. Absolutely. And I think what ends up happening is the word launch is such a big term and people get a little intimidated and they don't really understand all the different pieces. And then when you take the social media piece and you kind of look at it and you realize, well, wait a minute, if I go to TikTok, I've got people saying, well, the algorithm has changed. And then you've got
Right.
people and go over to Facebook and they're like, well, I don't see any of my friends' posts anymore. I only see ads. And then you go to Instagram and it's like, well, they're telling you to do something different. And I can understand why when people look at that,
Yeah.
they really do get overwhelmed with, well,
Yeah.
how do I do it right?
And
Well,
where do I launch? Like, what's right for me, right?
that's the difference is what's right and what's right for you are two different things. So when
Yeah.
you understand that there's different ways of doing things, and just because one person is over here saying, well, the algorithm has changed and this is no longer working for
Yeah.
me and my views have gone down, well, hang on a second. Before you kind of go into panic mode of, well, I need to do things
Yeah.
differently, that person may have changed what they're doing, in which case
Yeah.
the algorithm is being impacted by what they're doing. So, yes, have things changed? Unfortunately, yes. It is no longer if I post something, all of my followers will see it. It
No.
simply does not work like that anymore, right?
No.
We have to do combinations of things, right? There's different types of posts. I'm going to dive too deep into the whole social media world, but we were commenting last week when we were looking at different feeds and we're realizing that what we're seeing a lot more carousel posts in our feed because that's unfortunately what happens is people will ride the wave, right?
Yeah.
People ride the wave of carousel posts and then all of a sudden they start to go down and
Yeah.
video posts, even though those continually do well, but then like an image will do well. So it's riding those waves of change
Yeah.
and focusing on what works for you and what
Yeah.
will work for your launch is doing different things in different ways and not becoming handcuffed to the algorithm and not being handcuffed to what other people are saying what's working for them on
Yeah.
the platforms.
Yeah. So, but you have to have a clear, basic understanding of the steps involved, because social media is just one. It's one
Yeah,
step.
absolutely.
You might be launching to your list. You might be doing ads. You might be doing live events. There's so many different options. There's so many different ways to launch. So you need to understand that before, because most people think, oh, I'll just put up a post, but you need to understand your entire workflow before you actually put up a post, because if you put up a post and it doesn't go anywhere, there's no point in that post, right?
Right.
So you need to have that. And again, as Stacy said, nobody looks at one. Like, I don't even, there's sometimes, remember, you follow people and or you see them on your feed, and then 6 months later you see one, you realize that you haven't seen them in so long,
Yep.
and they've been there, but you just haven't been fed that algorithm. So sometimes, like, there are people that I really liked, and all of a sudden I didn't see their stuff anymore. And so it was just happened to me yesterday. I was scrolling. I was like, oh, I thought she like stopped posting, right? But
Or
it
the
was that
type
we
of
didn't see it.
post, right? Like I think, I'll see a post from somebody, but won't really register that it's them. And then all of a sudden, 2 or 3
Yeah,
later, I'll go, oh, well, that's a really interesting, different image. And that's where that variety comes in and really understanding who you're launching to.
yeah. And I think a lot of it has to do with, the algorithms are changing. So whatever you've looked at lately, you're going to get fed a ton of it. That's what happened
Right.
to me last week. Just a pile of stuff. And I'm like, I don't want my entire feed to look like that, but you have to not look at it in order to change it. You can't do anything about it. So when you're like that, you have to think of the people you're reaching out to, right? They're in the same predicament, right? They
Yeah.
might not see what you're posting. So you have to really look at the entire launch in totality and go, okay, do I have all my ducks in place? Am I doing the email list and the social media and reach out and LinkedIn and like, because I kind of don't, I know LinkedIn social media, but I don't really consider it the same. It's very different than
It's a
everybody else,
different it,
although it is getting a little crazy there too. But yeah, so here's the thing, guys. The number one thing we can share with you guys is you need to launch in order to make any business. So if you've been
it
sitting
sounds
there
simple, but
writing
it's
your
really
book,
important. I feel
yeah,
like a lot of people go into if you build it, they will come.
right.
And if they don't know it exists, they can't buy it. Like it's
And
really that simple.
we have clients that we won't mention names because they might be watching. We have clients that tell us, oh, they wrote a book, they wrote an ebook, they put together a new product, whatever, and they've been working on it for months. And our question is always, did you launch? And they
Did you
always
tell
go, oh,
anybody
not
about
yet.
it?
Not yet. Well, you said you finished. What is the holdup? And here's the thing. These days, if you're worried about landing pages and stuff, those are the easiest things in the world now with AI because you
Yeah.
just get one of the tools, which we'll talk about in our courses. But you get one of the tools where literally the AI will make you a landing page. So you can literally launch the same day if you're finished. But why are you holding on to it? Because here's what's going to happen. This happens all the time to everyone, including us. You ever get a really great idea, right? And you really great idea and you take too long to do it. And then you all of a sudden see all these people doing your idea, right? Because what's the difference? They launched, you didn't.
I'm just going to go back to if people don't know it exists, they can't buy it. They can't listen to it. I was actually just talking to someone the other day. Went, oh, like these new guys, like they have a new podcast out and blah blah blah, and they're really excited about it. And they knew this one person knew, and I went, are they going to tell
Yeah.
anybody? They're keeping it a
Well,
secret.
and
Like,
you always assume, right? You assume that everyone knows. Like, so what's interesting? Yesterday or 2 days ago, I listen to Sirius XM on the radio. I love talk radio, so there's a lot of cool shows. And then one of the shows, which is not my kind of thing, it's Stacy and my daughter's kind of thing. It's a crime podcast, but it was on one of the channels that I normally listen to. And I don't listen to any crime stuff, but it was called Crime Junkies. And it was, and these girls, I just liked their voice. So I listened to like 5 minutes. And then I told my daughter, I said, hey, she's like, well, that's like the biggest podcast, crime podcast. Totally. It's the biggest one in that genre. And I'd never heard of it. Right.
right.
I never heard of it. So that's, I'm just saying it's number one in crime and I've never heard of it. So just because, you launch something and you're not number one, I'm going to tell you probably nobody's heard of you or it. So
And sometimes you're
don't be
too
afraid.
close as well. And that's why it's
Yeah.
really important to work within communities, within groups, and that kind of stuff. Is that sometimes you're too close to it and you go, well, I don't know what you mean. Like everybody knows what I'm doing and everybody knows that this exists, and I've told everybody, not like, and it's not just about telling. There is a very specific strategy which we'll talk about after in
Yeah.
regards to launch and that kind of stuff. But the basics is that never ever make an assumption
Yeah.
that people know what you're doing and what you offer. And that's why I think community is so important, to have that feedback
Yeah.
and just those
So we
conversations.
actually, well, we put our wait list out there. So if you guys want to again go and join the wait list, on the bottom of the wait list page, you'll see we populated 3 of our free videos. We have a lot, but you just go to our community to see them. But Stacy just talked about the first one is what's on your shingle, which is basically, are you actually do you know what you're doing and have you told people correctly? So get that right away. You need to make sure that that's correct before you go to launch, right? Second video is, as I had mentioned, the fear of self-promotion. So if you get the first part right, the second part is, okay, let me get over myself, right? And
Right.
the third is we put up Stacy's making short, compelling videos. And because those three are hand in hand, right? So you get your what you do right, you understand you're not afraid anymore, and so you'll go out there and make videos. And so when you get those three, you can do them today if you want to sign up for that wait list. And then when we go ahead and do we do Jeff Walker's launch, then you will be set to do that and do really, really well. So you'll be all set. You don't have to go backwards and go, well, I don't really have my, what I do right. So how can I do the launch? You're going to have that ready to go. We have lots of other ones that are free as well. But I picked those three in particular so that you would be really comfortable, because the masterclass is going to happen in about a week. And so we're going to be going through it live with our community, and we certainly want you guys to understand that it's free. You should do it. Remember, I said I did lots of free stuff before I actually purchased programs. If you like it, then yeah, you can go ahead and purchase the deep dive into it. But at least you need to start somewhere. So if you're holding on to that PDF ebook, then now's the time,
You
right?
went, shh, don't tell anybody,
Yeah.
but I have an ebook.
Yeah. And it's funny because so many of our clients, they tell us stuff that they have, and we're like, really? Like, we haven't seen it anywhere. Where would that be? And we're looking at your website. If we can't find it and we're your coach, it's a problem.
Problem. It's a big problem.
Yeah. So we're also going to go through. So if you guys come to our wait list and come with us through the launch pieces, we're also going to take you through a lot of the tech city pieces of it. So we're going to show you what we use, what the cheapest things to use are to make sure you can launch, so you don't have to invest a ton of money. For those of you who are watching us on Tech City, or those of you who are in our community, we're kind of cheap on tech. We like to
We like the
find
best
deals.
tech for the least amount of money.
Yes, that's us.
So we don't skimp on what's really good,
No.
but we also invest in programs at the early stages so that we can get the best.
Yeah. So you're going to learn all of that as well, and in particular on what you need to launch. So if you've never watched any videos or taken any courses on how to launch a product or service, then this is your chance. It's in August. It'll set you up for the fall. I can't tell you enough to join us. I mean, how many people sit here and say, hey, come to a free thing, right? It's
Exactly.
free, right? And so you want to be able to say, you know what? Even if you've been thinking about doing an ebook or PDF or a little program, you've been thinking about it, but you're like, oh, it's too much work. You will see that it's not a lot of work to launch. It's just understanding the shortcuts and the steps.
Exactly.
So even if you're, as I said, thinking about it, now is the time. So I want you to absolutely you can go to Mastermind City, the mastermind.city / I can't read because I don't have my glasses on, but
The mastermind.city/PLF-waitlist. And that
yeah, and
will
I'm going
feature.
to put that on the front of our website. I'll put it up on the announcement bar as soon as we get off this call. You can see we just did it. So, because we were having a chat and we are like, we were talking about all our clients and our community members, and we were getting a little frustrated because we were like, nobody's like, you got to go launch. And so we thought, let's do this. Let's just push
Bring
everyone
everybody
to launch.
through. Yeah. And who better to do it with than Jeff Walker?
Yeah. And think about it, guys. You could launch before and make money before Christmas. So you can pay off all those Christmas presents you're going to buy, or holiday presents for those of you who are buying Christmas presents. But yeah, I mean, it's only a couple of months away. It's coming faster and faster.
Yeah.
So it's a perfect opportunity for you guys. I think you should absolutely join that wait list. Tell your friends, whoever your friends are, that they're thinking about launching a product or a service. It doesn't matter what. This is a phenomenal opportunity for you to get all that information, and you'll see us live and you can ask your questions, and that's really what's going to make the difference.
Yeah. We're excited. All right. Go join that
Yeah.
list, and
Yeah.
we'll see you there.